Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday's Market Outlook here at TGO Top Gun Options. I'm Wiz, Matthew Buckley. Just had an epic weekend, and obviously before we get into the market action here, as I predicted, I said, folks, we have not seen a bottom yet. We're heading back down, not back down, we're heading to or through the February lows. I said this, I predicted it. We're looking pretty damn good. We got a lot of STS hedges and calls on that are doing some good work, but we'll get to that in a couple minutes. Had a epic weekend. Saturday, my son Jack and I went to the Army-Navy game up there in Philadelphia. Got to see the President of the United States right down there on the field. He sat on our side. Unfortunately, our box this year was on the Army side. They switch sides each year. And just what a great game. Just the majesty, the pomp of circumstance. The only sports game that you're watching where everybody playing on that field are willing to risk the lives of everybody watching the game. So great time up in Philadelphia. Congratulations to the Long Gray Line, the cadets, for defeating the midshipmen, but we will get them. We'll get them next year. Had a great time in our box, Whiz and Pisser, and I'll leave it at that. That's a Liberty risk right there. That's a lot of problems. I got to see my mom and my sister yesterday. We had a good brunch before Jack and I hopped on the airplane and came back down here to Florida. I'm actually heading out this afternoon up to Dallas to give a keynote to Mothers Against Drunk Driving to the National Board of Directors and their staff. So that's going to be a good presentation, obviously bittersweet and hits close to home. Okay, let's get into this. Chinese military official. We should start attacking U.S. naval vessels that violate Chinese waters. China summons the U.S. ambassador. When you summon some country's ambassador, it really is getting called to the teacher's office. China's furious that our Department of Justice and the White House didn't know about it, so there's your deep state at work, trying to make the president look bad, but they asked the Canadians to arrest Huawei's CFO, the daughter of a big Chinese cabinet official, for breaking Iranian sanctions. Folks, people have been breaking Iranian sanctions for years. Why did the Department of Justice choose like the days when the president's negotiating with the leader of China to get a trade deal done? You don't think the deep state exists? You're an idiot. Department of Justice did that on purpose to make President Trump look bad. And now, obviously, the Chinese are going to retaliate. I'm getting ready to send out a weekly options trade. We have our weekly options brief here at 1 o'clock. Bear call spread. Another bear call spread on FXI. We did one last Monday that made $2,400 in a day. I'm looking to sell 160 of Friday's 40 and a half calls and buying the 41 calls as a hedge. I was sending out the alert at 16 cents. I got to get this out here. 16 cents plus or minus a penny, and we're risking about $5,200 to make $2,400. Obviously, these metrics have changed a little bit since now it's down at about 14 cents. But FXI is heading lower, guys. This thing's imploding. This market's going lower. Just as I said, you really have to shift your strategic mindset, guys. I've been bearish for about a month and a half, and it is not clearing up anytime soon. We have a lot of bad on the horizons. The one, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Great article in the Journal today about stock investors seek shelter overseas. Guess where one of the best houses in a bad neighborhood is? Brazil. We got bullish on Brazil. We have been bullish on Brazil. They elected their own Trump. The Bovespa is trading at 17.7 times forward earnings for the next year compared to our PE with the S&P 500 at 18.8. So I'd still be looking down to Brazil for some safety. But what's the problem? Our trade concerns. It looks like the BREXIT is turning into a clown car. Macron over in France gallivanting like the good limousine liberal he is around the world, trying to make everybody pay for for a climate that's been changing since this earth cooled. And he's facing a revolution at home. Just a lot of bad going on. Legendary investor Bill Blaine, I've never experienced a December like this. Wall Street Journal, December has typically been a great month for stocks until now. You ready for this metric, folks? And you know mine, or I've told you mine. These guys did the math and said since 1950, 75% of the time, December has risen more than any other month. What have I told you? I said I've been doing this for 26 years. 23. I went back and did the math. I looked at all of it. 23 out of the 26 years I've been doing this, December's been great. We've had that November, Black Friday, beat the hell out of the person you just were giving thanks for the day before, to save $10 at Walmart, all the way through the Santa Claus rally and then sell off right before earnings. 23 out of 26 times that trade has worked. This year it hasn't. So, that you can't really shake your head in too much disgust with that going on. This guy's a tool. He's a limousine liberal. He's another guy that's got to go. Facebook's awful. It's imploding. We predicted that. Apple getting punched right in the face by China with a ban on some older iPhone sales because of a court ruling with their fight against Qualcomm. That is not good. Guys, I told you to get out of Apple a year ago. I could not have been more bullish on Apple until they decided to become limousine liberals and not unlock an iPhone of a terrorist that could have saved American lives. That was really the kind of the bottom card in the house of cards. Then Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and I don't want to do good, or I don't care about profitability. I just want to do good. Look at this, man. Apple's down another 2% today. Let's take a look at a one-year chart of Apple. That thing is just goodbye, Nelly. The fat lady is starting to sing. We have a lot of macroeconomic data this week coming out. And then the biggest thing on our radar is 9 days from now is a Fed meeting. Larry Kudlow even coming out and saying, geez, the Fed might not even raise in December. Folks, if the Fed doesn't raise in December, that will tell the markets that they really, really, really have no clue what they're doing and what's going on. I think they raise in December and then they're done. Maybe not, maybe March-ish. But I've told you this, folks. The Fed has never in the history of the Federal Reserve engineered what is called a, quote, soft landing. We have crashed every time. Do you think this is going to be different? Look at this. Every one of these pops I told you to sell into. Do not buy the dip anymore. Buy the dip is dead. So, like I said, we're having fun here. Once you shift your strategic mindset and kind of get your wind back underneath you and figure out what's going on, this thing's going lower. I have no idea where the bottom is, guys. I guess technically the February lows, although as I'm speaking to you right now, we're hitting the February lows. And if we don't hold here, that's it, man. Official bear market and done. But remember, as an options trader, you can potentially make money whether the market's going up, down, or sideways, right? Last week with FXI, I told you, hey, man, put on a bearish double vertical. Look at what FXI did since last Monday. Look at that. FXI is down, what is that? 7% essentially in a week. I told you this was going to implode after this bullshit. Hey, Buenos Aires, good news, it's a truce. It ain't a truce. I'm a military man. A truce means you don't shoot at each other. We're still blasting away at each other, guys. Look at this. This thing's going lower. There ain't any bottom in FXI. If you're in our weekly options brief, we're going to get on here at 1 o'clock. We're going to stick right to 30 minutes because I got to go downstairs, jump in a car, and head to Fort Lauderdale Airport and fly up to DFW, okay? So the 40.5, 41. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to blast a text out. My techie was in the SMS system earlier. Banging on some pipes. I couldn't fire out the text, but if you're getting this video, this is what I'm looking at as our weekly options trade for the week. As kind of a, I usually don't do 2 weekly options trades, but volatility is going to go higher, guys. Volatility has to, look at this. I said last week, it spiked there, it spiked there. I said there is absolutely a distinct possibility that volatility is going to go through the roof. This is what you need to see to have a bottom. Washed out selling along with a massive spike in volatility. I think volatility goes even higher from here as the market implodes. Here's the good news. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how is the play? The good news is markets recover. As we bottom out here, we are going to walk in and start bottom picking. We're going to take a look at getting long CME group and starting the bottom feed and get some discount shopping here. That's the good thing. We're going to see all these levels on the way up again, folks. We are not in a bear market for the rest of our lives. This stuff happens, and you can profit on it, okay? Selling at the money or in the money short calls against your long positions, putting on bearish spreads, putting on bearish double vertical spreads. You can make money as the market's going down, guys. You just gotta know what you're doing. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we got all 50 of our full throttle slots, so we're closed, folks. If you didn't grab your full throttle slot last week, we're airborne. We're good to go, and we're done. So, all right, guys, I got to get ready for weekly options. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I probably won't do my market sit rep tomorrow, or maybe I'll do it at lunch before my keynote, but we'll see. But keep an eye on your cell phone for any text alerts I have to send out. All right, we'll see you.